The session devoted to fighting poverty and hunger. I am from Nigeria. It's better to give you the true picture of what's going on in Africa. We have terrorism challenges, insecurity challenges that are preventing farmers to even go to their farm. We have problem in Sudan, displacing people. We have problem of climate change, flooding, destroying crops. And we have problem of protectionism. We have problems. It is very important to make it clear and louder here.
All right, so speaking of which, back home here in Yobe State, similar narrative, complaints about farmers, and you know what? Have a look.
The clashes between farmers and herders in the last 5 decades has been identified as the major setback to food production, especially in the northern parts of the country. The scenario is further fueled by another threat of midnight theft of unharvested crops, which sometimes results to loss of lives and the entire farmlands. Al-Amin Shuama and Samaila Adamu, both civil servants and farmers in Yobe State, lament their loss of over 1 million naira to crop thieves in less than 1 year.
We had a bumper harvest this year, even though we are facing the challenge of farmers-herders clash. From the beginning of the farming season up to the harvest period, it's been really challenging.
The issue has become just too rampant because even here, I have to keep some people to be sleeping here in the night.
According to them, the thieves operate under the cover of darkness to cart away people's farm produce or attack guards employed in the farms. Determined to curtail the increasing attacks on farmers, the Deputy Governor of the state, Idi Barde Gubana, hands over motorcycles to the Nigeria Security and Civil Defense Corps and other security agencies at a recent security meeting.
Even the other security and paramilitaries and other security partners should join heads to address this issue. But this issue is rampant in Yobe.
The State Commissioner of Police is appreciative of the gesture. The state government also announced its intention to provide farmers with irrigation inputs to close some of the gaps witnessed as a result of insecurity.
Sometimes these clashes degenerate to loss of lives. We have some selected instances that happen in places like Yuswari, in places like part of Damatu local government, but the number they are calling is exaggerated. I think we have about 4 to 5 cases of homicide cases from these clashes.
We did a lot of empowerment, as you maybe recall. His Excellency, the Executive Governor of Yobe State, procured a lot of agricultural equipment worth billions of naira to the people of Yobe State.
With the threat of food scarcity, farmers in Yobe State are optimistic that the government will come up with measures that will guarantee their safety, especially during harvest, in order to arrest the increasing prices of foodstuff.
All right, so here today we're joined by Mr. Kabir Ibrahim, who is an architect. He is also the president of All Farmers Association of Nigeria. Good morning, thank you for coming.
Good morning,
today.
thank you very much. Thank you for
initially we saw the president in Brazil. Yesterday signed an agreement between Nigeria and Brazil, huge agribusiness deal. But there are concerns as to how impactful that would be if we don't get certain things locally right. But let's start with you giving us your impression, first of all, of that agreement that was signed and what your expectations were as a result of that.
Well, I would like to take you back to the initial question around agricultural mechanization and agricultural machinery that we were supposed to have gotten from 2017 from Brazil at about 1.1 billion. A lot of it was coming in hardware, agricultural machinery hardware. We followed it up. It didn't materialize, and it has not materialized until now. So we are a bit, we have double feelings towards the agreement. Agreement has been signed today, MOU has been signed today, but we also know that this kind of discussion has taken place from 2017. My local government, for instance, it will not be adequate for everybody. So you will plan a higher program. People will rent the equipment, go and work on their farm, and then when they finish, go to other farms and all that. And like that, everybody who needs that service will get it. That is the best way. And then, you know, as time goes on, as prosperity pervades the system, the people will now be able to buy their own. Because what we are thinking of is maybe bringing maybe about 10, 20,000 tractors to Nigeria. Nigeria needs almost 100,000 or even more.
What are these portfolio farmers, and how do they get into this business? How are they stopping those who need this?
People who come to tell people, the leaders of this country here in Abuja, that they have this farm there, they have this farm there. When they say it's rice, they say yes, they do rice. Whereas where they are, rice will not thrive. And because they know people, they get all the facilities to help to produce rice. Whereas they don't have where to produce the rice. They become portfolio farmers in that regard. When you want to reach a farmer in a given competence, you follow through. If he is a member of any of the associations, go through the associations. If he even is not a member of anyone, go to the state. That's why the subnational government should be involved. If the person says he's from Igawa in Katsina local government and his farm is 20 hectares, he should give you all the parameters of the farm. You should know them and you should be able to verify that. And when you verify that, then you can give him those facilities that you give to people. Otherwise, you will be given to people who will sell off. It doesn't matter. Sometimes we don't even care if you give anybody fertilizers and he sells to a farmer who was not able to, because the person is going to contribute to the food system anyway. So we don't. There is not. You cannot avoid that in this kind of situation. We must come to terms with the fact that there is corruption in our society, and the only way to get corruption out is for everybody to work against it. That is, I should loathe. If you bring anything that is good and you want to impress me, I should tell you that it smells, it stinks, I don't want it. And that's the only way that people will stop this corruption.
So what is this? I understand there's a annual Agric show that happens every year.
It is starting today.
Oh, it starts today?
Yes.
What's the essence? Why do you do that?
Now, what we do is to create an avenue where at least now the smallholder farmer will showcase what he or she is able to do in their small farms. And then to also have the opportunity of seeing people who add value, either through science or through processing or anything, that are also displaying what they do, their equipment, their methodologies and all that. And so everybody will now see what is going on. And then they will go and model that to improve their productivity. And then for government to come in there and incentivize the farmers by showing that they care.
Has it been working over time?
Well, in a way, yes. You are just complaining about skyrocketing of prices of food. The farmers, incidentally, are talking about getting value for their produce now. Yeah, because even on the farm gate, you give them fair prices because they will sell that, and no farmer, no single farmer produces what he or she requires. They will sell what they have, surplus of what they have, to buy what they need. And so if they sell very well, they will be able to buy more of what they want. Like Madame just said that it's not possible to buy Indomie now, it's very costly. So if I produce a lot of corn and I keep what I need, I will sell my own corn at a very good price, and then I will be able to buy Indomie.
So what about those Agric banks? They don't seem to be working a lot?
There is one National Agricultural Bank, BOA, and that is, I think the CBN and the Federal Ministry of Finance should pay their equity so that the bank becomes more efficacious. Because as it is, the bank now does not have much fund to give to farmers, but it's the farmers' bank. But what we have agitated as AFAN is that they should sell equity to the farmers so that it's our bank, just like Rabobank in the Netherlands. It is our bank, and we will make sure that when they give farmers loan, the farmers pay back for others to get. Because you can't at one time give all the farmers of Nigeria loans. We ensure that the loan that you take as a farmer, you pay back so that she takes. Because the opportunity, it should be revolving.
So if they are not doing that yet, can there be another alternative? Can private sector or farmers find a way to come together and make this work?
Well, I have just told you what should happen. Sell equity to the farmers. Let the farmers have the control.
No. I mean, if they are not doing that.
No, but they should do that. I'm calling, this is a clarion call. Okay. That if the bank is there and it has, you know that it is broadly spread all over Nigeria.
Yeah.
It's in every state, more or less. So it is there. All the infrastructure is there. The only thing is the funding. The managing director, incidentally, is my friend. I talk with him every day, and I know what he goes through trying to do this. And I know he's a very serious person.
But government is the one that has to lead.
He is meticulous with detail. So if you allow him to do it and you give him all the funds necessary, I'm sure we will have a difference.
So farmers are willing to go in there, and they have the capacity to.
Of course, we are always going there, talking with them. Even now, they are already there on the on the showground. They just told me this morning they are there to erect their own stand. To show what they can offer. But what they can offer is just by mouth because they don't have money.
Does the All Farmers Association of Nigeria have anything to do with livestock?
Of course, livestock farmers are also farmers.
So let's talk a little bit about livestock farming.
But I am myself essentially a livestock farmer.
So with the new ministry right now, you know, what kind of progress, and with the signing of this MOU as well, what kind of progress are we going to see in livestock farming?
There is a lot of progress already.
Modern techniques, maybe?
Definitely, yes. In fact, I will tell you this. I participated in the first and the initial effort to really set up the ministry, because I worked on the national conference on livestock. That was, we were able to do it because, you know, of the former governor of Kano State, who is now the chairman of APC. We did that, and then we submitted our report to the president, and then he said, those of us who participated there were going to be the Presidential Implementation Committee. Now the Implementation Committee has done its work. They have drawn up all the parameters that are required, and the new ministry has been born. And this was the thrust of our request to the president, that you should do a new ministry. The new ministry has many, many things that it can do. You know, as I told you, I used to be the president of the Poultry Association of Nigeria, and that is the livestock sector. I know exactly that time when I was there. In fact, the DVS at that time used to give me positions of government to distribute to farmers. We were carried along and all that. But over time, this thing died out. The sector was almost neglected. Now we are happy that it is back. And then, you know, we have had skirmishes with herders and all that. And the herders are our members. We have had press conferences where we said we were one. But everything that happens now in terms of insecurity, they attribute it to the herders and all that. And herders are there, and there is no serious quarrel between herders and farmers. There are criminal elements that are perpetuating this thing or perpetrating it. So as far as I'm concerned, a proper implementation of the policies around livestock will bring back the glory of the livestock sector, and it will help in the attainment of food security, because food security is predicated on eating what you want at the time that you want, and that it is nutritionally balanced. So if there is no livestock component in it, it is not balanced.
So I want to get your thoughts on grazing reserves and the concept of moving cattle around around grazing routes. So ranching and the moving of cattle around grazing routes. What are your thoughts on this? Because it's a major issue.
The reality is that pastoralism is not only in Nigeria. Pastoralism has been there even in Europe and everywhere. There are people, a set of people whose stock in trade is to move their livestock from places where food or fodder has become difficult to places where it is easier. So in Nigeria, many years ago, it was decided that there was need to take care of these people, and grazing routes were established from far Dankamania, Niger Republic, to Oshogbo or Gomosho. They would walk, move around, move their cattle. They had drinking places, they had resting places, they had grazing areas and all that. Now, over time, you and I, we decided to encroach on all these areas by, building physically or making our farms along the routes and all that, and those became a problem. Now, the general talk in the public domain is that there are problems with herders. So when the issue of semi-sedentarization came, we supported it. That, okay, fine, in fact, we predicated it on value addition. If a herder who has maybe 200 cows still sleeps on the bare floor and doesn't wear clothes or whatever, if you sedentarize them, you give their children good schools, you give them good hospitals, and then you give them grazing areas, you grow grass and all that, they would have enhanced productivity in terms of milk and even meat. So when you have abattoirs near them and all that, you, instead of, the man just watching his cow to die or slaughtering it when it has emaciated and all that, he would now do it and even get money from there, do other things. So instead of wearing rags, they will be wearing clothes just like you in suits and all that and come around.
All right, it's a matter that that has several parts, components. But thank you for coming on, Kabir Ibrahim, an architect and president of All Farmers Association of Nigeria. All the best to you and the team.
Thank you very much for having me.
All right, so this message is from Professor Enahena. He says, just a minute, President Bola Tinubu, as Chief Marketing Officer of Nigeria, must now, through actionable diplomacy, ensure that this signed MOUs for the following, that's the 3 billion of Jindal Steel's iron ore processing, Skipper Cells plan to invest 1.6 billion, it goes on. You should make sure that they are all sorted.
Yes, and then Pastor Law Afasi says most Nigerians may not understand the transformative policies of government, the intractable diplomatic shuttles by the president and leaders alike. Well, the average Nigerian experiences is high cost of living and insecurity, and government's enchant to borrow.
All right, there you go. That wraps it up today. Thank you all for watching. We'll see you tomorrow. I'm Chamberlain, so goodbye.
Have a great day.